for a ball club like the Cubs, who have been up and down throughout the first half of the season, to suddenly find a rhythm, start to hit the ball more consistently, have some good at-bats, get some great pitching. That confidence goes a long way in the second half of the season.
Hey, for right-hander Rich Harden, who will get the start today, he's been a lot better away from Wrigley and at night. So we'll see what transpires today, and he had to pitch today because Ted Lilly went on the disabled list yesterday, so the Cubs had to reconfigure their rotation. For Micah Owings, he has never beaten the Cubs, and it's been a really rough go for this entire rotation, save for maybe Bronson Arroyo a couple of times this month.
Yeah, Micah Owings, a fastball, slider, changeup pitcher. None of his pitches would grade out above average. He is a very intense competitor, and he can swing the bat a little bit, so hopefully the Cubs get him out of there before he gets an at-bat.
Former Cubs manager Dusty Baker taking a look at his lineup card. And before we get started today, let's check on the Walgreens Celebrity Bat Kits. Danny Nakia from Cherville, Indiana. Madeline Christian from Clive, Iowa. For more info on how you can be a Walgreens Celebrity Bat Kit, go to WGNradio.com. Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. Let's look in on the Cincinnati Reds starting lineup. Chris Dickerson's been playing right with Jay Bruce out with a broken wrist. Speedy Willie Taveras in center. Joey Votto hit a home run yesterday and has been in a good stretch really all year. Phillips, Encarnacion, Gomes also homered yesterday. Alex Gonzalez recently off the DL. Craig Tatum gets his second major league start behind the plate, and he'll do the catching for Micah Owings.
And let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively. Behind Rich Harden, brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, refresh everything. Soriano, Fukudome, and Bradley across the outfield this afternoon. Ramirez and Terrio on the left side. Mike Fondo at second base. Jake Fox getting his first start, filling in for Derek Lee over at first base. Very familiar with the position. Played a lot down at Iowa at that position. Coy Hill behind the plate once again today for right-hander Rich Harden. You know, the thing that's baffling about Rich Harden and his numbers day, night, and home road this year is it basically goes against his entire career. A 3.22 ERA in day games, a 3.24 ERA in night games. Last season he was undefeated here at Wrigley Field, a perfect 5-0. He was 5-2 on the road.
Set the umpires for today's action. Laz Diaz calls balls and strikes. Cooper, the crew chief Riley, and Merriweather around the base paths. Well, as Lou Piniella said, if Rich Harden pitches the way he did on this last road trip, he could pitch on the equator during the day and would probably have success.
Well, he had a real good fastball last time out, was hitting the upper 90s consistently with his fastball, and had that changeup nibbling around at the edges of the zone.
We are underway as Dickerson shanks it foul. Mid-70s, wind out of the northwest, a crosswind at 15. We had a crosswind as Dickerson swings and misses yesterday as well. It's left to right. Cubs have hit 6 home runs in this series. Inside on a changeup, 1-2.
Now, the wind wasn't blowing nearly this hard during batting practice earlier this afternoon, but it was as if there were no gravity here at Wrigley Field. Everybody was hitting balls out onto the avenues.
Actually cheated the Cubs out of 1 home run, 7 in the series. They had 3 yesterday and 4 on Friday. Willie Taveras on deck, and then Joey Votto for the Reds. Low for ball 2. It's even at 2 apiece. The Astros come in tomorrow night for a 4-game series. The final 3 games will be right here on WGN Sports. Tuesday night at 7. Wednesday and Thursday will hit the air at 1. Thursday will be a makeup game from an earlier season rainout. Astros just a game behind the Cubs for second and a game and a half back of St. Louis for first. Another 2-2 pitch and another foul as Dickerson's giving Rich Harden all he can handle here to start the game. A wind and the next 2-2, yet another foul. See all kinds of interesting things here at Wrigley Field. Ooh, that hurt.
That's what you get for fouling off 6 or 7 balls in a row.
Now, Brooke Jacoby, their hitting coach, has to be really happy with what Dickerson has done in his first at bat, really regardless of the result.
Well, one of the results of this at bat is going to be a big knot on the inside of his right shin where that last foul ball hit.
Harden beat the Reds on April 21st here. Nice play on the comebacker and finally gets Dickerson.
That's one of the things for a 2-pitch pitcher. You know, once you have an extended bat against a hitter like Rich did against Chris Dickerson right there, it's kind of hard to trick the guy. If all you're throwing is a fastball, granted a very good fastball, and a changeup, a very good changeup, it doesn't give the hitter a lot of different options. He tries to get a piece of the foul ball, or fastballs rather, to stay alive, and then hope you make a mistake with the changeup up in the zone.
They made 10 pitches against Dickerson, 1 strike on Taveras. Oh, and 2. Oh, yeah. The Chicago Italian beef.
Oh, breakfast of champions. I'd need a nap if I ate one of those.
Cheesesteaks in Philly. The Italian here in Chicago, fouled back.
You know, Len, we mentioned it about the Reds facing Kevin Hart yesterday, that they're a very aggressive swinging ball club, and I think because of that, Rich Harden's changeup is going to be the key pitch for him today. Some days he needs to establish the fastball first and then work on the changeup. But against this Reds team, they're going to be hacking at the first couple pitches they see close to the strike zone. If Rich can tease him with that changeup, get a lot of easy outs, it could be a good day for him.
It's been a disastrous road trip for the Reds. They finish it today. They're 0-5. As a team hitting .217. As a pitching staff with a 7.88 earned run average. So they're more than ready to get back home to Cincinnati. Season high 7 games out of first and 8 games under 500. For a while there, they were right in the thick of this thing. Taveras out into right center. Fukudome will peel off as Bradley makes a grab. 2 down.
We saw it in the ball game yesterday. Very similar wind blowing from left to right. Everything hitting the air is going to get pushed toward that right field line. That ball started out almost in straightaway center field, and Milton Bradley ended up making the catch over in right center.
Cubs would like to have their flag right at the top on that middle pole going into action tomorrow night. And the Phillies just took a lead on a Chase Utley home run, 3-1. They lead Todd Wellemeyer and the Cardinals in the bottom of the 3rd. 14-6 was the final yesterday as the Phillies evened up that series. And when the Cardinals go home, they have to play the team with the best record in the majors, the Dodgers, starting tomorrow night. Atlanta leading at Milwaukee 1-0. Can't forget about the Brewers, and The Astros up early on the Mets. 1-2 to Votto, who on Saturday hit his 11th career home run against the Cubs. He has 42 all told in his career, and more than a quarter have come against the Cubs. There's a towering fly ball, and that'll be number 12 for Votto against the Cubs. He has just crushed Cubs pitching. 7-game hitting streak for him now, and it's 1-0 Cincinnati. That's the only good news there. It's a solo shot.
There goes the best hitter in the world. Boy, the Cubs just cannot figure out Joey Votto. I mean, he pulls fastballs inside. You throw him up and out over the plate. He goes to the opposite field. Seemingly every at bat he's squaring up a ball, and this one is way out of here to right center.
I think the key at bat of the entire weekend was his at bat to end the game Friday. He was a tying run at the plate. Took a called strike early in the at bat from Kevin Gregg. It looked like it was off the plate on a backdoor slider. And then with one strike, Bobby tried to hit a ball about 9,000 feet, missed it, then took a called third to end the game. But that was one of those moments where I don't think anybody was too comfortable with Joey Votto at the plate.
Well, given his history against the Cubs, you just hope to limit the damage, and for him to take a called third strike was huge.
One and two to Brandon Phillips. He's their cleanup man. He's on pace for 23 homers and 106 knocked in. Fontenot will throw to Fox to end the first inning for the Reds. They get a 2-out homer from Joey Votto. And the Cubs are coming up against Micah Owings. Kosuke Fukudome has taken to the leadoff spot as Alfonso Soriano has gotten settled in that sixth spot. Big lineup change today. Jake Fox gets his first career start at first for Derek Lee.
Quick look at the Reds defensively. Gomes, Taveras, and Dickerson across the outfield. Taveras figures to be the busy man out there covering ground. Encarnacion, Gonzalez, Phillips, and Votto across the infield. Craig Tatum doing the catching today for right-hander Micah Owings.
Fastball strike to Fukudome. He's a big dude. Cubs will have to be very careful with him at the plate. 6'5", 220. It's 3 home runs at the plate, but obviously his #1 job is to get people out, and it's been a challenge at times.
I mentioned earlier, fastball, slider, changeup. He'll use a 3-pitch mix to both righties and lefties. None of his 3 pitches would grade out above average, but he is a heck of a competitor out there on the mound, and you know he's going to give you everything he has every time he toes that rubber.
First start in 6 days, lost his 2nd consecutive start. His last time out, that was Monday in Los Angeles. Lifted in the air out into left center. And Willie Taveras put it away, 1 out. Here comes Ryan Theriot. Sometimes the numbers lie and sometimes they don't. And you look up and down this Cubs lineup, you have Fukudome with a career high 8-game hitting streak coming in. Terrio's hitting 7 in a row. Soriano 8 straight, batting over 400 during that time. Aramis Ramirez 5 for 8 in the series. A lot of stretches and streaks we saw last year, really throughout the entire season.
And more recently, well, to the point you just mentioned, Lou's getting production up and down the lineup. It seemed like for a while there, if Derek Lee hit a home run, the Cubs had a good chance to win the ball game, but not a lot of production above and below Derek in the lineup. But lately it's been a team effort up and down the lineup.
And they're going to need to do it without Lee available. Well, he might be available, but not in the starting lineup. He left yesterday with neck spasms. It happened on a slide at second base, and Derek even admitting he's going to have to really keep an eye on that. Several times it has flared up this year, and he hopefully will be back in the lineup tomorrow night. Hit hard, and that rockets past Alex Gonzalez into center. Theriot with a 1-out base hit. Give him an 8-game hitting streak. And that'll bring up Ramirez.
Kawhi got a little elevation on that one. That ball probably would have got out of here. That's one of the hardest hit balls we've seen off his bat in a long time. Just a bullet past Alex Gonzalez toward the gap in left center.
So with D. Lee out of there, Ramirez moves up to the 3 spot. And he flies into center. And Taveras with a couple of putouts in the inning. And you know, if Derek has to basically take himself out of a game, it has to be extremely painful.
I think even Derek himself said it. He's kind of learned his lesson. He tried to play through the stiff neck, the neck spasms earlier this season, and not only did his numbers really suffer, but you know, in a roundabout way, I think he felt maybe he was hurting the team a little bit because he couldn't do the things he had to do on the field. So better to take a day or two now and be in there healthy again, rather than try to play through it and risk a possible bad injury.
He's had a bulging disc for a while, and that's what causes the spasms. 1 strike on Jake Fox. It's his first career start at first base. Jake made a point to tell his manager this weekend, hey, by the way, I've played 5 positions for you, and he's right. First, third, left, right, and catcher. I think Jake just kind of reminding Lou, hey, I'm versatile, I'm here, I'm ready to go.
He wants to get 4 or 5 at bats in a game. He doesn't care what position he has to play to do that.
In the dirt, blocked by Tatum on a curveball. 1 ball, 1 strike. You can relate, right? Because as a former catcher, at times you played the corner spots on the infield. I'm sure at various times in your career you reminded the manager, hey, I don't just catch.
Oh, yeah, daily I tried. I mean, I was a lot like Jake Fox. You know, I just wanted to play. I didn't care what position it was. I wanted to prove my value to the team and get my at-bats, and whatever that meant doing, I was willing to go play outfield, play third, even though it wasn't very pretty down there. You just want to get in there. You want to be a part of it.
The 1-2 to Fox. We'll do it again.
I mean, we talked about it this morning. Yeah, Jake will play right, left, first, third. He'll catch. But the thing he wakes up in the morning thinking about is his at-bats. It all starts in that batter's box for Jake Fox. Everything else, he'll figure out a way to get it done. But this is where he feels comfortable and feels like he can help the team. Not a great pickoff move by Micah Owings. Very long arm delivery. As you can imagine, a big guy like that, it takes him a while to get his body turned and make that throw to first base. The base stealers could probably get an extra step, maybe 2 steps on their lead against Micah Owings.
That's deep to right, and Dickerson on the track's going to leap, and he made the catch for the final out. Fox gave it a ride on a 1-2, but Dickerson went up to get it just like Taveras did yesterday. 1-0 Reds after 1. Right to rob Jake Fox of what probably would have been an RBI double. So it remains 1-0 Reds as we start the second. Third baseman Edwin Encarnacion leading off, taking it outside. Ball 1 from Harden.
Yeah, Chris Dickerson is slowly turning into his own highlight reel. Seems like he makes a play or two like this every ball game against the Cubs. That time going high up against the ivy in right field to rob extra bases from Jake Fox. We saw him make a lot of great plays in center field last year before the Reds had Willie Taveras out there healthy.
That's the first strike of the at bat. 2-1 on Encarnacion, who's just 2 for his last 21. Home run swing came up empty. 2-2. Tough no decision on Tuesday for Rich. 7 innings, only 1 run on 4 hits. And that's his first strikeout of the day. Time now to look at our high def shot of the game, sponsored by Comcast. A moment of silence before the game in memory of Alex Valadez, a member of the Chicago Police Department, served 3 years, earned a department commendation and 22 honorable mentions before he was gunned down in the line of duty on June 1st of this year. And Alex's family was here throwing out a first pitch. His brother, sister, and fiance all served as Chicago police officers, and his fiance pregnant and due in September. Very sad story. Great to have his family here. Cubs baseball in high definition, sponsored by Comcast. 2-0 the count on Johnny Gomes. The pitch. Popped it up. Short center for Fukudome. Kosuke's former hitting coach in Japan, Kyosuke Sasaki, heading back home, and I guess he'll be back with the team in September. And then he worked with Lou and with the hitting coach Von Joshua on some mechanical tweaks, and we've seen Kosuke in a pretty good stretch here lately in that leadoff spot. Gonzalez was activated from the disabled list on Friday, coming back from elbow surgery. Splintered his bat. I don't think he realized it. And I think Laz Diaz, somebody telling him no. Yep. Yeah, Laz Diaz now telling him, hey, by the way, the end of your bat is chipped.
Yeah, it's one of those cupped bats. You can see they take about half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch out of the very end of the bat to kind of change the balance of the bat, put a little more of the weight in the hitting zone. But when you're way out in front of a pitch like Alex Gonzalez was, it catches that cupped area on the back part of the bat and just splinters it.
Oh, 1 low and outside on a change.
I remember when they first started doing that, and we all had to have them. You know, it's a new thing, a cupped bat. Oh yeah, I got to have me one of those. I didn't find them to work much better than the regular bats, but you know, for some guys it changes the feel of the bat, the balance of the bat, gets more of the weight in the hitting area and not quite so much out toward the end of the bat.
One, two is up and in at 94 miles an hour. Wide in the 2-2 pitch, hit foul off the top of the netting. Oh, came right back and hit Gonzalez. We see that all the time.
Yeah, that screen on the backstop is angled perfectly. If it hits a little bit to the third base or first base side, it always bounces directly back to the home plate area.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a heater, and that ends the inning. They go 1, 2, 3. fans who want to check out Len and Bob's baseball blog, it has now joined Chicago Now. You can find the same great content from Len and Bob's blog at chicagonow.com/Len and Bob, as well as WGNTV.com. I have a post on the blog today. Also information on Ricky Henderson, game notes from our friends at Stats Inc., and much, much more. WGNTV.com or ChicagoNow.com. Milton Bradley takes ball one low. Pinch hit blast. First time he's cranked a pinch hit home run in his career. That came off David Weathers late yesterday. And he hit it the other way into left center. Two and one on Bradley. One thing he has done is continued to walk. 16 walks in the month of July. Most walks by a Cubs hitter since Jeremy Burnett's in July of 2005. Three and one on Bradley with Alfonso Soriano on deck. Now 3-2. Bradley 1 for 7 against Owings in his career. Here comes a payoff delivery just outside, a leadoff walk. Let's check out who's moving forward with Toyota. Look out, just avoided a little bit of a collision there. Alfonso Soriano in the 6th spot, hitting .392. And here he comes, runner on, nobody out. Today's Toyota moving forward thanks to Toyota. Off the end of the bat, foul. So much of this game is confidence, and you can tell Soriano has a lot more of that at the plate these days.
Yeah, it's been a slow process working himself back from the slump that he was in most of the first half of the season. It started with some broken bat ground balls that got through the infield and some bloopers that fell in, and then gradually some more and more hard hit balls, and recently it appears he's found his stroke again.
I think you hit on it. It's the chicken and the egg theory. It's which comes first, and I think you're right. He was not hitting the ball hard, but his average was going up, and that did give him confidence.
Well, and also you become part of the action. Now you're a base runner. You can do some things to help the team win a ball game. Offensively, when you're making a lot of outs and making a lot of U-turns back to the dugout, you don't feel like you're helping the ball club at all. And we know defensively you take what you get from Alfonso Soriano, but when he's swinging the bat and getting on base, using his legs to score runs, he feels like he's more a part of the action, and that's what he wants to be.
Flying the other way, base hit. It's going to drop in front of Dickerson, and Soriano's now hit it 9 straight. And the Cubs have some action here in the second. 2 on, no outs.
Boy, that is something we did not see from Alfonso Soriano the entire first half of the year. He gives up right here. Not gives up his at bat, but decides, I'm going to shoot the ball the opposite field. That was a swing designed to drive the ball the other way. That's just a smart piece of hitting, knowing that Mike Owings was probably going to try to get him out away with a slider. Just stayed on it, decided he was going to give up the home run ball and just drive a single into right field. Nice at bat.
Talking to Von Joshua, the Cubs batting coach, in terms of Soriano, really Kosuke Fukudome, as Fontenot turns on one foul. For him, it's all about getting that front foot down in time. And Von said it. If both guys get their front foot down in time, it gives you so many options. You can do so many things. But if you're late, we've seen Kosuke do that spin-orama, that spin move where he flails away, and you see Soriano, once that front foot got down, he was able to kind of wait back and shoot it the other way. Foul tip.
When that front foot is slow getting down, you feel like you have to speed everything else up, and that's when you get into some bad habits. That's when you see those funny looking swings from Kosuke and other hitters for that matter. Yeah, Tony Gwynn, in my memory, was the first hitter that really focused on that front foot and making sure it was down, allowing the ball to travel deep into the hitting zone before you committed to your swing. Worked pretty good for Tony.
Yeah, I would say so. And is the simple theory on that obviously creates balance? It's something you have to do to get a good swing on the ball, and so you might as well get it down as quick as you can, right?
And fewer moving parts, because now the ball is released out of the pitcher's hand and you're in a position to hit. You're ready to hit the ball if it's in the strike zone, if it's something you want to offer at.
So Fontenot strikes out for the first out. Mark DeRosa with a home run. He's heating up. And the Cardinals have drawn within one. Atlanta leading at Milwaukee. Houston up 3-2. They're in the third there. Brian Moeller for the Astros. Livan Hernandez for the Mets in that one. Foul tip, strike on Coy Hill. Derek Lowe and Braden Looper going at it 90 miles north of where we are right now. Outside. 1-1 on Hill. He makes his 16th consecutive start behind the plate. Just missed. Today, the first time in 6 home games the Cubs have not scored in the first inning. They had a nice streak working going back to the end of the first half. 3-1 with the pitcher Harden on deck. Coy's parents are in town this weekend. Had a chance to meet them on the field just after batting practice. So he'd like to do some damage on the field today with mom and dad here, and he takes a walk to load him up for Harden.
You like about this situation, of course, a ground ball could possibly turn into a double play and get the Reds out of this potentially damaging inning, but Rich Harden runs so well, it's going to be tough to turn a double play on a ground ball unless it's hit real firmly right at one of the Reds infielders.
Having a career year at the plate, 7 out of 26. No extra base hits in his career. And only 1 RBI, but in a pretty good spot here. Not so much now. 0-2. There's Kosuke on deck. 2 walks and a single. All started with Bradley taking the free pass. Owings gets the sign from Tatum. The kick and the 0-2 pitch is a swing and a miss. Not the end of the world, because the inning is still alive for Fukudome. That is one of those spots where strikeout is a lot better than the alternative you pointed out, the double play.
That's going to take some kind of a 2-out base hit or a red zare against Kosuke Fukudome to keep this inning moving and get some runners on the plate, but it's much better than a double play to end the inning.
Joey Votto with a first inning home run. But the Cubs threatening here in the second. With the bases loaded and 2 outs. Pulled foul, 1-1. Kosuke without a grand slam in the major leagues. '17 career home runs, 7 this year. Solid month of July at .296. Last year's batting average went down every month in his rookie season. 3-1. Well, a walk could do it. Fans are getting loud. 3-1, bases loaded. Outside, we're tied on a bases loaded walk. Well, it wasn't even close as Dick Pole comes out. Terrio coming up with the bases still loaded.
I mentioned the fact before the ball game that Micah Owings is a tremendous competitor, and you have to be when your fastball sits in the mid to upper 80s and you fall behind a lot of hitters. That time it just didn't look like he was willing to challenge Kosuke with anything close to that strike zone.
Here's a pitch to Terrio, called strike. The Cubs actually drafted Micah Owings after he played 2 seasons at Georgia Tech. They took him in the 19th round, but he ended up going back to school and transferred to Tulane. Got drafted 2 years earlier by Colorado in the 2nd round. Didn't sign. Eventually a 3rd rounder of the Arizona Diamondbacks in '05. And the Reds got him last September. From Arizona. 1-1 on Terrio. Bases loaded. A run in on a walk. Owings from the wind, the 2-1 hit foul, 2-2. Giants 5 for 10 with a couple of walks against Owings. That includes his first inning single. He's run it full, 3-2. What a fun inning for the Cubs. Only 1 hit, but they've tied it. And they have a chance to take the lead here. Runners will all go with Owens' 3-2 pitch. There they go. Here it is. He popped it up. Foul territory. Votto and Tatum. And it's caught by Votto as Tatum ended up leaving his feet. And that ends the inning. So Fukudome's bases loaded walk ties it up. It's 1-1 after 2. Tuesday, July 28th at 7:05. But be sure to get here early. The first 10,000 fans get a Cubs fathead. Compliments of Gatorade. Tie ball game on the Kosuke Fukudome bases loaded walk. Cubs did leave them loaded. Joey Votto with a nice catch and foul ground to get Terrio. Craig Tatum looking for his first major league hit. Fouled back, strike one. The neck injury has been the one that's got not only Derek Lee but a couple of Reds this weekend. Ryan Hannigan and Jason Nix dealing with some neck stiffness. 0-2. Their biggest power threats is on deck. Mike Owings, the pitcher. Ryan Howard with a 2-run homer in the 5th, and Phillies lead the Cardinals 5-2. Got him as Tatum went around.
Cub fans, don't forget to visit the WGN Sports Game Zone at WGNTV.com. Brought to you by The Great Escape for up-to-the-minute stats and information designed to give you everything you need to know during the game. The WGN Sports Game Zone is available for every Cubs game and is brought to you by The Great Escape. Pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
Swinging strike on Owings. In terms of his pitching, he's been a lot better in his bullpen warm-up than game action. So the key is to get what he does in the bullpen and translate that into the game. We sometimes hear from pitchers after excellent performances, I had nothing in the bullpen. And we often hear when guys pitch really poorly, well, that was the best I felt all year in the pen. Called strike 3. It's 4 strikeouts for Harden, all against the last 5 batters.
Well, I don't know of any starting pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball that's ever given up a hit warming up before a ball game. Hey, you know, veteran pitchers realize that that's just what it is. It's an opportunity to get your body loose, get the blood flowing, get all your muscles ready to go before the start of a ball game. But all that matters is what happens after they play that song.
And a strike on a change to Dickerson. Big defensive play, leaping catch, and the home half of the first. 0-2. Well, Dickerson and former pitcher Jack Castle have started a website emphasizing the reduction of athletes relying on plastic bottles and the increase of recycling. It's called WePlayGreen.org. Pretty good idea. And they have a lot of pro athletes who have joined the cause. I'm looking down this list. Football players, baseball players, obviously, as Harden strikes out the side. He has 5 on the day. He got Tatum swinging. Owings looking, and then Dickerson flailing away. 1-1. As Aramis Ramirez will lead off the Cubs' third. And a called strike. 0-1. Justin Berg, a right-hander, waiting to make his major league debut. He replaced Ted Lilly on the active 25-man roster. Sinker baller from Wisconsin originally. Came over from the Yankees a few years ago in the Matt Lawton deal. Playing with Jeff Stevens and Jeff Samardzija in the pen. High deep drive for Ramirez out in the left center. Taveras on the track making the catch. Cubs have just missed a couple of them. Fox back in the first and Aramis here in the third.
Yeah, because of the wind direction, I thought Jake Fox's ball had a better chance of getting out of the ballpark than Aramis. Ramirez had home run distance off the bat, but got up in that wind in left center field, got pushed further over toward center, where Taveras is able to make a catch on the warning track.
Inside Jake Fox. Ball one. High in the air for Fox. Taveras battling the sun right on the warning track for the out.
See Taveras checking that sun. It's not going to go away anytime soon, Willie. It's going to be a tough sun field in left and center, and then later in the day over in right field as that sun continues to move toward the west. We just need to straighten him out just a little bit. Line drive will work better to left field today than a high fly ball.
Did you see the story yesterday in Philly with Albert Pujols? There was a fan that I don't know if they ever located. It was had some sort of light.
Some kind of a laser pen
Yeah.
or laser light. Yeah. That's a no-no.
Yeah. 2-0 on Bradley, who walked and scored the Cubs run back in the second on a Fukudome bases loaded walk. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Count holding, 2 apiece. White Sox are playing Detroit tonight. They haven't won since Mark Burley's perfect game on Thursday. Kind of weird. They lost 5 straight after his no-hitter in 07. I would assume that's coincidence.
I would think so, but
they lost the first 3 in Detroit. Tigers now have a 3-game lead in the AL Central. Full count, 3-2. Much of a race in the National League West, but the wild card race might be a pretty good one, involving at least a couple of teams in that division, as Rockies are hosting the Giants this weekend. And right now Colorado leading San Francisco by 1 in the wild card, even though Rockies are 9 back of the Dodgers in the West. Dodgers won on a Casey Blake hit in the 9th against Florida last night. Rocketed foul by Bradley. Still 3-2 with Soriano on deck. 2 down. Ramirez and Fox have flied to the warning track. Ball 4, so Bradley's taken 2 walks. 4 given up by Owings.
Owings really having a hard time hitting his spots. That time he missed all the way across the plate. His catcher Craig Tatum had called for a fastball inside to Milton Bradley, and as you could see, Owings missed way away off the plate.
Swing and a miss on the breaker, 0-1. Soriano single to right. His first at bat. Average up to 253. Three hits and a home run yesterday. Deep to left for Soriano this time. And it's going to be right at the base of the wall. Bradley's going to be sent by Mike Quaddy. Relay throw to the plate. Going to be a play there. He is safe. He got his hand in. Soriano with his second hit today, and he gives the Cubs a lead. It's 2-1. Good slide by Bradley. Got around Tatum. We got the throw just a little bit late.
A great slide at the plate by Milton Bradley. Let's get a look at the hit first of all. A cement mixer slider right in the middle of the plate. I think only that wind kept the ball in the ballpark. Hits right at the base of the ivy. Gomes picks it up. A lightning quick relay by Alex Gonzalez, but the great slide by Milton Bradley getting around Craig Tatum, who had the plate blocked off. Nowhere to go, so Milton went up, around, and got his hand down on the plate in time to score the run. Very nice.
So the 2-out walk turns into the go-ahead run. That is absolutely how you can help your team even when you're not hitting. 2 walks, 2 runs. RBI opportunity for Fontenot with Soriano in scoring position. He pops it up on the infield. Phillips will come in, but actually Owings will make the catch to end the inning. But the Cubs rally with 2 outs and take a 2-1 advantage. Milton Bradley with 2 walks and 2 runs, and the Cubs lead 2-1 as they go for the sweep looking for their 4th straight win today and a chance for first place. Tavares, Votto, and Phillips for the Reds in the 4th. Great to have with us the superintendent of the Illinois Lottery, Jody Winnett, with us today. And the Illinois Lottery celebrating its 35th anniversary by giving away $35,000 every weekday all summer long. And we often talk about second chances.
That's right. We celebrate every summer huge at the Illinois Lottery. Usually we end up at the summer with a big prize, $1 million, $250,000. This year, with so many people sort of delaying their dreams, we said, can't we make more winners? Why don't we spread out that money and make dreams come true every weekday this summer? So that's what we're doing. It's been a lot of fun. We're about halfway through. We're making 60 $35,000 winners. We've given away 30 and about have 30 more to go.
And to enter,
you go to IllinoisLottery.com. You want to collect $35 worth of non-winning tickets. Enter them online or through the mail. We have a drawing every week. The last day to enter is August 28th.
And all online and instant tickets purchased since May 15th are eligible, right?
That's right. You can go on our website, again, IllinoisLottery.com. Check the instant tickets that are eligible, as well as all of our jackpot games. Collect your tickets. Enter with your friends, as I said, online or through the mail.
Is there an age limit? How old do you have to be to enter?
You have to be 18 years old to play the Illinois Lottery.
Joey Votto skies into center. Fukudome will catch it, 2 outs. And can you enter more than once?
Every week, every day, every week, every time you can collect $35 worth of non-winning tickets. They have to be unique tickets. You can't enter the same tickets, but it's been so much fun. We've had winners all over Illinois, and $35,000 is a lot of money. In fact, I came with a friend today, and she's like, "What are you going to talk about?" And I said, "We're giving away $35,000 every weekday." And she goes, "That would change my life if I won $35,000." And on our website, we have a feature where people can enter their dreams. Tell us what they're dreaming about with $35,000. Cars, motorcycles. We have a lot of Harley riders that are lottery players. Fix up something in the house. Take care of some college tuition. You know, you're not going to retire on $35,000, but you can take it easy. Take a vacation.
Absolutely.
How's pizza and beer sound?
Lots of pizza. $35,000 worth of pizza and beer.
Have a party.
Yeah. The 1-1 pitch to Phillips. Now 2-1. So Mega Millions, Lotto, Little Lotto, Pick and Play, Pick 3, Pick 4. All those tickets purchased again since May 15th are eligible.
All the scratch tickets you can find in our stores right now. So when summer comes to an end, we're going to be introducing a new scratch ticket called Bags and Bucks. It's based on the very popular cornhole game, sidewalk game, and we're going to be playing that with people all throughout Illinois and giving away money in tournaments. So we started probably back in February thinking about the summer and what we were going to do and how we were going to give away the money.
Fukudome will catch it. In the inning, well, Jody, we have a ball just about every day with the Illinois Lottery, and fans are going to have a ball all summer. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Official summer baseball station is brought to you by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
Well, Micah Owings is done after 3 innings. Gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. He walked 4 and struck out 2. And it'll be right-hander Carlos Fisher to take over. 66 pitches today. Makes you wonder if there's some sort of injury.
Well, you would have to think so. Mike Owings is normally a guy that the Reds consider to be an inning eater, a guy that can get them at least 5, 6, sometimes 7 innings in a ball game. For him to have the plug pulled here in the bottom of the 4th inning, very unusual.
Fisher has kept the ball in the ballpark all year. He's a rookie, making his 20th appearance. And Fisher is taking extra pitches, so there's no question it's an injury. And Dusty came out to chat with Laz Diaz, a home plate umpire. That's a key distinction. When you have an injury to a pitcher, the next guy who comes in gets as much time as he needs to get loose. Follow your team on your iPhone and iPod Touch with MLB.com. At Bat 2009 featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Visit Cubs.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch to purchase. Reds did make a roster move involving their bullpen before the game. Right-hander Jared Burton was put on the 15-day DL with shortness of breath and I guess right shoulder fatigue, and they have recalled right-hander Josh Renicky from AAA Louisville. Jimmy Rollins with a 2-run homer, and the Phillies pulling away from the Cardinals, and the Mets now leading at Houston. So all 3 teams from the Central in those games are trailing. Coy Hill fouls away.
And Len, you mentioned the newest Reds pitcher, Josh Renicky. Good baseball family. His father, Gary, played in the major leagues. His uncle, Ron, played in the major leagues. His dad is now a scout with the Orioles. And, of course, Ron Renicky, a coach under Mike Socia with the Angels.
That's a strike. 0-2 on Hill.
And the reason I bring up Josh Renicky, other than the fact he's got good bloodlines in the game, he lives in Rough and Ready, California. What a great name for a town. Rough and Ready. About an hour, hour and a half north of Sacramento.
Called strike 3. So 1 out. Rich Harden coming up, working with a 2-1 lead.
Laser beam straight fastball from Fisher that time. He's been a big time strikeout pitcher throughout his minor league career.
Chopper over the mound. Phillips, a Gold Glover, will throw and get Harden by about a half a step. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Got a Bob Ross painting overhead. And just a perfect late July baseball Sunday afternoon. We always hope for great weather. We don't always get it, but we have today. On strike on Fukudome, and they've rarely gotten it in Washington, D.C. this year. They've had almost 34 hours in rain delays, talking about the Washington Nationals. 3 hours last night. 3 hours, 11 minutes. 2. We have gotten a kind of a funny report from Cooperstown. Ricky Henderson with his Hall of Fame induction speech apparently never said Ricky.
Wow, that'd be a first.
I don't know if I believe it. I'd be kind of disappointed if he didn't refer to himself in the third person at least once.
Nobody will know who it is if he doesn't. Little Ricky.
Another chopper. This one backing up. Oh, and a barehanded play. Don't know if Phillips needed to do it, but he did. And the Cubs go down in order against Carlos Fisher. 2-1 the Cubs lead. Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete info and rules. Called strike to Edwin Encarnacion. Cubs lead 2-1. Gomes and then Gonzalez. So all righties due up in the inning. Kicking the pitch, checked his swing and fouled it on the ground. 1-2. Only hit for the Reds was Joey Votto's 2-out homer in the first inning. So Harden has not yet worked from the stretch. They have not had a base runner other than Votto, who touched them all. Still 2-2. Got a piece of it. Blue Jays finally won, beating Tampa Bay 5-1. The Rays yesterday overcame an 8-run deficit to win in 12. Former Ray, Johnny Gomes, although I believe he was a Devil Ray. Apparently they're not quite as evil as they used to be.
Yeah, once you Playing a World Series, you're no longer evil. Although they changed the name before that, so I guess that doesn't really apply. But I kind of like the Devil Rays.
Focus bad as he lines out to Ramirez. We are email accessible at lenandbob@chicagonow.com. lenandbob@chicagonow.com. You can also tweet us at twitter.com/lenandbob.
And we'd like to extend happy anniversary wishes to John and Linda Kramer from Peoria, Illinois, celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary right here at Wrigley Field today. What a great place to go for your anniversary, huh?
Happy 39th anniversary to Keith and Terry Schramm. Is that our Keith Schramm, I believe? It's up here in the press box. Congratulations to Keith and Terry. Also, a happy 102nd birthday wishes go out to Gertrude Weiland. She turned 102 yesterday. Bradley waist high with the basket catch. Nicely done. Well, that's not an easy play. It didn't look like Jake Fox was going to get it. And Bradley snuck in behind him and made the play.
I'll tell you, Milton, in a very short period of time, has become pretty adept at handling those foul balls over in that visitors' bullpen. That is not an easy area with the warm-up mounds down there, the brick wall on the side, a lot of different surfaces to run on. Then you've got the bench full of players down there. But Milton has made some of his finer plays over there in foul territory this year.
A strike to Alex Gonzalez.
Also a big thank you to the Burns family of Elmhurst, Illinois. Got a real nice letter from them. They went to a ball game down in Peoria to see the Chiefs play, and big Cub fans.
Keith Schramm, who takes care of us up here in the press box. And there's Pat Foley, voice of the Blackhawks. Don't let him in, Keith. He doesn't have a pass. That kicks away on strike 3. Hill will fire to first in time to end the inning. We got to keep Foley out of the booth. 2-1 Cubs. We've swept them here in a 3-game series since 2001.
And as we get ready to start this inning, the wind has shifted a little bit, blowing almost straight in from center field now, as opposed to earlier in the game when we had that left to right crosswind working, knocking down a lot of the fly balls that the Cubs hit toward the bleachers in left.
Fisher went 1-2-3 in his first inning, fourth. Josh Renicky was up briefly in the top of the fifth as the Reds were nearing the pitcher's spot. They never did get there as Harden went 1-2-3. A little bit outside, 2-1. That's low, 3-1. Tomahawked in the left, but right at Johnny Gomes.
The Bud Light Concert Series is back. The B-52s will be playing the House of Blues August 21st. Brought to you by Bud Light. Tickets are available exclusively at Ticketmaster.com. That's the B-52s on August 21st. Brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, the difference is drinkability.
Outside to Ramirez. Well, he found a way in. Pat Foley, voice of the Blackhawks. No. Too late. The Foley crew.
You've been busted again.
It's good to see Pat.
Yes, indeed.
There you go. He spends a lot of time here in the friendly confines and in the surrounding establishments in the summer. Swing and a miss. 2-1. Fisher's been impressive.
He's got a good arm. I mentioned throughout his minor league career, a big time strikeout pitcher, real long arm delivery, good fastball, good slider.
And the Cardinals are finding out what the Cubs found out, and that is Phillies are pretty good. Cardinals won the opener Friday, but they got pounded yesterday, and same thing's happening again today. 3-2 on Ramirez. 9-2 Phillies as Raul Ibanez has hit their fourth home run. Atlanta now a 5-0 in Milwaukee. 1-out walk to Ramirez. Casey Kochman with a home run for the Braves today.
Derek Lowe started that game for Atlanta. Braden Looper for the Brewers, and in that St. Louis Philly game, it was Wellemeyer against Bland. Todd Wellemeyer's giving up some big numbers this year.
Matt Holliday used Todd Wellemeyer's glove Friday because his hadn't arrived. Got traded from Oakland, got 4 hits, and had to use a pitcher's glove. I'd like to see Carlos Fisher throw one about waist high, middle in, and see Jake Fox swing.
I was just thinking the same
result.
thing. Yeah, 2-0 count. Yeah, as much as Jake Fox likes to let it go, this figures to be a good pitch to hit right here. Stepped out of the box, took a deep breath. Hold on to your hats down there in the front row.
Oh, I think he got it, but took it.
Well, that's one thing about Jake Fox. He's not necessarily a young player. He's young as far as experience at the major league level, but in a 2-0 count, he was looking for one pitch in one zone, and that wasn't it.
That was it. 2-2. That's a sign of maturity. You don't have to swing when it's 2-0 or 3-1.
Maturity and confidence that you can still do some damage in the remainder of your at bat, even if you take a strike on the 2-0 pitch.
A bouncer to third. It's foul. Mike Quaddy will field. Tight right shoulder is why Micah Owings left after 3 innings. Position players sometimes will stay in when they have muscle tightness, but the pitcher has any tightness anywhere related to his pitching arm, that's it. They get taken out.
And that's a typical description right after the fact. Tight right shoulder. Now, after Micah Owings has an opportunity to see the trainers, it may get a little more specific. And then after you see the team doctors, it gets even more specific. And if it's serious enough that you need MRI or X-rays, then you get real specific. But initially, the report is a tight right shoulder.
Interesting look there for Carlos Zambrano. Looking for the cameras, deep to left. And Gomes reaching back in a well, makes the play. Jake Fox has found the warning track all 3 at bats.
One to right, one to center, and now one to left. Picked the wrong day to hit fly balls in the air to the warning track with the wind blowing initially across and now straight in. All 3 balls struck well.
If you stand on the ceiling, you can read it. I believe it says our first Cub game. Harry would have enjoyed reading that one.
Yeah. Harry could have made sense out of it.
Speaking of Harry.
It's a good 3-wood lie right there.
You borrow that from Cubs radio booth. Bradley with a base hit. He has reached all 3 times. Two walks and now a single. He's 1 for 1.
Still getting tied up a little bit, ever so slightly, on those pitches on the inner half of the plate as a left-handed hitter, but not breaking nearly as many bats and seems to have a much better eye for the strike zone from the left side of the plate since his recent tutorial with the skipper Lupinella.
Soriano 2 for 2 with the go-ahead RBI. The Cubs are trying to win today without Derek Lee, who has neck spasms. And hopefully will be back in the lineup tomorrow night as the Cubs open up a big 4-gamer against the Houston Astros. Wandy Rodriguez with 10 wins and a 2.72 ERA will oppose Carlos Zambrano in Game 1. We'll have the final 3 games of that series right here on WGN. Rodriguez is in the top 5 in ERA. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Cubs with only 4 hits, but they've taken 5 walks. Hit into shallow right center. Dickerson battling the sun. He has it. And the Cubs strand 2. They lead the Reds 2-1 after 5 from Wrigley Field. The packed house inside Wrigley Field. And the Cubs right now with a 2-1 lead. Rich Harden, we talked so much about his numbers in the day and at home. Hasn't mattered today. We should point out that whole concept of saving Rich for a night game versus a day game. It's all about the manager. So Lou said before the game, it's my job to utilize the talent of each player to the best of their ability, and he saw the numbers that we get access to and pretty much any fan can look at, those day-night splits, home-road splits. It's not something where Rich walked in to his office and said, I need to pitch at night and on the road. That didn't happen. And as you pointed out, it's really only this year that issue came up as Tatum pops out to Fontenot, and we'll get a pinch hitter, Adam Rosales, for Carlos Fisher.
And then also want to send a big hello to the American Brain Tumor Association, having their annual fundraiser on the rooftops across Sheffield Avenue. It's become an annual event. They have a great time and do a lot of good for the American Brain Tumor Association.
Strike 2, Rosales. Got a nice note from Kendall Lester, Cub fan for over 4 decades from Avon, Illinois. 1-1. Daniel Ray Herrera, who features a screwball up in the Reds bullpen. 1-2. Is there a right-hander from your playing era you could compare Rich Harden to? Because not too many guys these days work quite like Rich. Jason Schmidt, although he throws a slider, but no four-seam fastball, good changeup. It's fouled back.
Yeah, I think Jason Schmidt is probably the closest comparison to Rich Harden, a guy that basically can get by with just 2 pitches at the major league level. There have been others back in my playing days, early in my playing days. Mario Soto for the Reds, ironically, a really good 2-pitch pitcher. He also threw an occasional slider, but lived and died with his fastball and his straight changeup.
in the dirt on a change, 2-2.
You know, it's not uncommon to see a relief pitcher get by with just 2 pitches, maybe a fastball split or a fastball slider. But usually a starting pitcher, they say you have to add that 3rd and sometimes a 4th pitch to your arsenal, because you're going to be seeing the same hitters 3, maybe 4 or 5 times in a ball game, and you need to have different weapons to attack them. But for Rich Harden, he goes after him with the same 2.
Punch out number 7 for Rich.
From our Southwest Sky Cam. A little movement away from the right-handed hitter that time. That's one thing about Rich Harden. We call him a 2-pitch pitcher, but he can make that changeup work in different directions depending on his finger pressure. Not so much with his fastball. His fastball is pretty much a straight 4-seamer, but he can move that changeup in different directions, and that gives the illusion of throwing different pitches. And that looked like a slider right there, a right-handed slider. Started on the inside part of the plate, dropped down low and inside, but it was a changeup.
We did get an email recently about Rich Harden potentially as a closer at some point. I suppose down the road that would be an option. He's done all right as a starter. It hasn't been that easy this year, but since the second half started, he's been terrific.
Yeah, the one major concern you would have as a closer is, could he handle the workload? A lot fewer pitches, obviously, than a starting pitcher, but throwing back-to-back days, sometimes 3 days in a row, 5 out of 7. Would he be able to handle that kind of a workload given his past history with his right arm?
As good as he's been today, the Reds are only 1 swing away from potentially tying this game up. Here he comes on a 3-2, and Dickerson strikes out. It's 8 for Harden, and he has been tremendous all afternoon. 2-1 Cubs. The Cubs able to strike back. Milton Bradley with 2 walks, and it was a bases loaded Kosuke Fukudome walk that tied it, and then Soriano doubled home Bradley in the 3rd to give the Cubs the lead. Visit your Honda dealer and test drive a 2009 Honda Accord. Constantly changing the look, the chameleon hairdo of Carlos Zambrano.
Apparently the beauty salon is open today in that Cubs clubhouse.
Did he bring his dog to the park again today?
The dog's probably getting its hairstyle right now.
Daniel Ray Herrera. Breaking ball is low to Fontenot. 2-1. We saw Herrera in game 1. And then he gave up a couple of runs. In fact, he gave up a home run to Mike Fontenot. No, sorry, it was Jeff Baker who was pinch hitting for Fontenot. Two runs and 2/3 on Friday against Herrera. Pitch outside, 3-2. Nick Massett is up for Cincinnati, and Sean Marshall going for the Cubs. You have Harden's spot coming up third in the inning. Ground ball to first. Votto will flip. Herrera covering, 1 out.
It gives you an idea of how important Lou thinks that Joey Votto spot in the Reds lineup is, to have Sean Marshall warming up. Tavares will lead it off for the Reds in the top half of the 7th, and then Joey Votto, and then a string of right-handed hitters at the bottom of that Reds order. But it's Sean Marshall, the lefty, that's warming up right now.
Old strike on Coy Hill. Jeff Baker, who hit that home run the other day, is on deck for Rich Harden. Pulled down the left field line. Fair ball for Coy Hill. Came on an 0-2 pitch.
As Coy Hill celebrates that double out there at second base, it's time to take a look at today's AM/PM player of the game. It's all about Rich Harden today. He's been outstanding on the mound, made a nice play on an easy comebacker right there. Had a good fastball working, that changeup just falling off the table low and away from the Reds hitters today. Rich Harden, our AM/PM player of the game. Too much good stuff.
Baker's home run on Friday, his first as a Cub, first of the year. Dusty Baker coming out. Might go with Nick Massett, and he has made the call. Bottom 6, runner at second with 1 out. Cubs lead the Reds 2-1.
game on Wednesday at Dodger Stadium. It was Manny Ramirez bobblehead night. Manny didn't start the game, but he pinch hit in the 6th inning with the bases loaded and hammered the first Nick Massett fastball into the bleachers in left field for a grand slam.
This Massett part of history is they have now made a poster commemorating that grand slam, and they're going to give it away at a future Dodger home game. He faces Jeff Baker with Coy Hill at second base. Cubs trying to pad their lead up 1 in the 6th. Long pause by Massett. Big leg kick outside. A fastball riding at 92. 1-1. Banged off the hockey style mask of catcher Craig Tatum. It's a unique sound, doesn't it?
Oh, it really does. It sounds a lot worse than it feels. It's easy for me to say. I've never been hit in the face with a ball with a hockey style mask. But that's what I've heard. They made a lot of improvements to the hockey style masks as well. There were some issues with some of the foul tips and guys missing time, and in some cases having to retire because of the damage done on those foul balls. But they've modified the padding and increased the padding, and so far no complaints this year.
Full count on the pinch hitter Baker. So the Cubs getting a pinch hit home run in each of the first 2 games of the series. Baker on Friday and Bradley yesterday.
Unless Massett misses his spot badly, it's going to be tough to hit a home run. He's basically a one-side pitcher. He throws everything from the middle of the plate away to the right-handed hitters, both his fastball and his slider. Now, he can make mistakes. We just showed you one a few moments ago.
No batting average, but 5 pinch hit home runs for the Cubs this year. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
From our Southwest Sky Cam, away from Nick Massett. The last pitch, a slider started on the outside corner, broke down and away off the plate. Baker couldn't hold up.
Fukudome with a bases loaded walk to tie it up in the 2nd. First Cub player born in Japan. Kagoshima, Japan, as he grounds to Phillips. Inning over. Cubs lead 1. They lead 2-1 after 6.
Described as a motley crew with girls, girls, girls. Today's Bud Light Fan Cam with just the right taste that never fills you up. The difference is drinkability.
Gotta love those lyrics.
Oh, brother.
Dollhouse in Fort Lauderdale. One strike on Willie Tavares. I don't think you're going to see that quote in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but you never know. Sean Marshall's in. Cubs lead 2-1. Paul Maneri, who was a head baseball coach at Notre Dame and at the helm now at LSU as the Tigers won the College World Series championship. A lot of interesting connections with Coach Maneri and members of the Cubs organization, so he'll handle the stretch. And then we'll chat with him in the bottom of the 7th. Guys on this current roster who pitched for him, Aaron Heilman and Jeff Samardzija. Tried to gather some, embarrassing information on the coach, but didn't get a whole lot. It goes way back with general manager Jim Hendry. Jim was a high school baseball coach. Paul was on his staff back in Miami. 3-2 to Tavares, key guy to get, obviously, with Votto on deck. And the Cubs leading by just 1 run. Votto hit a home run in the first. Angel Guzman up for the Cubs. Big 3-2. Ground ball, backhanded by Ramos. 1 out. Well, we'll continue to point out the numbers in terms of Rich Harden at night and in the daytime, but I think some of this conversation will probably go away after his performance today. He was as good as it gets.
He really was. And, in an odd kind of way, it's similar to the discussion we've had in the past about Alfonso Soriano. Oh, his numbers are much better in the number 1 hole than anywhere else in the lineup, but I think sometimes it's just a matter of more repetitions. If you put Alfonso Soriano in the 6th hole and leave him there for a couple of years, I guarantee you his numbers will be very close to his career numbers no matter what spot in the lineup he has hit in. I mean, it's not like Fonzie when he hits leadoff, chokes up on the bat and crouches over and tries to draw a walk. He's the same hitter in the 1 hole as he is in the 6th hole.
Yep. Inside 3-0. Let me ask you about this matchup. Obviously, Lou wanted to go with a lefty in this inning with Votto at the plate. If you're Sean Marshall, then do you have to go right at him? Looks like he's a little tentative here, and Votto cranking it up on a 3-0 pitch. It's 3-1.
Well, I think Sean Marshall, knowing him the way we do, I think he looks forward to this matchup. When you're the left-handed specialist out of the bullpen, although Sean is much more than just a specialist, you look forward to these matchups against the other team's best left-handed hitter. And Joey Votto has hit .345 against lefties this year, so Sean knows he's got to make his best pitches.
Soriano coming on, makes a running grab, 2 outs. Let's update the standings after the game in Philadelphia went final 9-2, the Phillies over the Cardinals. And not only are the Cubs tied with St. Louis at the moment, but they're up 3 in the loss column. That's key. Can't make up those losses. Cubs trying to make up those wins, which you can do. So some changes here as Guzman's going to come in along with Andres Blanco. Fontenot and Marshall are out. 2-1 Cubs in the 7th. At second, 2 outs, nobody on. Phillips hits the first pitch on the ground right to Blanco. Time for the stretch.
Guest conductor for taking me out to the ballgame is head coach of the College World Series champions LSU Tigers, Paul Mainieri.
Hey, Chicago! The Cubbies are hot! Let's go! Let's sing for Louisiana 2! A 1, a 2, a 3! Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. Root, root, root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Hey! Let's go, Cubs and Tigers!
Flying around the Chicago area. Paul Mainieri, head baseball coach at LSU. Brian Terrio leading off. You got to like
Did you do that on purpose?
Oh, of course we did. Of course
you guys
we
are
did.
amazing. And look at this.
And a
How
base
about
hit
that?
into center.
Right.
Right,
Baby Ryan.
right on cue. Congratulations, winning the NCAA College World Series, and well deserved.
Thank you.
And you have a lot of friends in this Cubs organization.
A few. Yeah. First of all, starting with Jim Hendry and Randy Bush, I played college ball with Randy. I played college ball with Mike Quaddy at the University of New Orleans. Jim Hendry and I coached together. I coached Jeff Samardzija and Aaron Heilman at Notre Dame, and of course the LSU boys have become friends. So I'm a big fan of the Cubs, that's for sure.
I was asking around for some embarrassing stories or questions that I could ask you about, and to be honest, I didn't get any. But the only thing I got was from Jeff Samardzija. He thought long and hard about it, and he said, well, the one thing he would do when he was upset, you were at one end of the dugout, I guess, he said he would go take a cup, put just a little bit of water in it, because you really didn't want to drink the water. You wanted to throw the cup in disgust. Is that true? He said that's about the only thing I can give you.
It's amazing that's the things that they can think of. He was the one that drove me crazy all the time. He should know, I guess. Oh, he's a great kid, Jeff.
Great things about you.
He's going to be a wonderful pitcher for the Cubs too.
1-0 the count on Aramis Ramirez, and that's low and outside.
Got to ask you, Coach. I mean, you know, you've had guys playing here in the big leagues, specifically Ryan Theriot and Mike Fontenot. When you had them in college, could you tell that these guys had the chance to move forward and play in the big leagues?
Bobby, I actually didn't coach Ryan and Mike.
Oh, that's right.
They played for Skip Bertman before I was there. You know, they're wonderful ambassadors of LSU. They're great ball players. Get in there.
And that's going to get into the left field corner. And Theriot will be on his way to third. Ramirez to second. And the Cubs threatening, already leading by a run.
All right.
Ramirez continues his hot streak in this series.
But Theriot is something, though, isn't he, Bobby? I think every team, every winning team has to have a player like him. You know, he does all the little things for you. It's a manager's dream, I think.
We'll take it back a little further then. The two pitchers. How about the two pitchers?
Samardzija and Heilman at Notre Dame.
At Notre Dame. Could you tell back then that these guys had a chance to be good?
Absolutely. Aaron Heilman was the greatest pitcher I ever coached.
Really?
Won 43 games in his 4 years at Notre Dame. 15-0 as a senior. And then he was the Mets' first pick. And then Samardzija was a later bloomer because he was concentrating on football. But you could see the athleticism, and he had something special about him, too.
Infield in, and Jake Fox fouls it off.
Bobby, I also coached Brad Lidge at Notre Dame, and you could tell that kid had something special too. By the time he left our program, he was throwing about 97, 98 miles an hour, and once he learned that slider, he was unstoppable.
Jake Fox was at the University of Michigan, where he caught Rich Hill, former Cub.
That's right. Get in there.
And that's a blooper out in the right. Base hit. Theriot's going to score. Ramirez to third. And it's 3-1.
Jake Fox was the one that got away from Notre Dame. He's from Indiana, and he's a good ball player. He had a home run against us one night in the big ball game, I remember.
Funny how the game works, Bob. Jake Fox flying to the warning track. 3 hard hit balls for outs. This one drops in for an RBI single.
Yeah, if hitting them hard doesn't work, try blooping them in. Well, and Coach, the LSU pipeline still pumping the players out.
Well, the Cubs took DJ LeMahieu with the number 2 pick, and he's a fine player, Bobby. He's going to be a good one for the Cubs. He can play any of the infield positions. He's a good hitter, uses the whole field. I think when he gets into professional baseball and you get him with the right hitting instructor and they start working with him on pulling the ball a little bit more, he's going to show some good power. And he's just a baseball player, though. He knows how to play the game, and he was a big part of our championship season.
First and third, nobody out. 3 straight hits were with Paul Maneri from LSU, former Notre Dame coach. And you learned a lot from your dad.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. My dad, Demi Maneri, was the baseball coach at Miami-Dade North Community College for 30 years. And he, I think, had about 35 of his former players make it to the major leagues. And very fortunate to have a great mentor in him. Not only a great father, obviously, and I love him very much, but a great mentor for the business that I wanted to go into.
Infield in with Milton Bradley at the plate. 1 for 1 with 2 walks and the first 2 Cubs runs. Ball 1 on Bradley. Cubs trying for the sweep and a chance for sole possession of first place. They can jump a half game ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals if they can hang on today in the late innings. Inside. What is this part of the summer like for you? Because we think baseball in summer in July, but your season's over, and what's going on right now?
A lot of people have asked me, are you basking in the glow of this championship? And I'll tell you, I don't think I've worked so hard as I ever have in this last month. But fortunately, I've got a great staff. David Gruy and Javi Sanchez have been out on the road recruiting this last month. Ever since the championship, and recruiting is going great. We've got my other assistants, Will Davis and Ross Brzozowski, are running our camp, so it's given me a lot of opportunities to make a lot of public appearances and do those kind of things. So it's been a lot of fun. Is that Samardzija up in the bullpen?
It is.
How about that?
Again, right on cue. Bradley swinging away on the 3-0. It's now 3-1.
Now, Coach, when Samardzija was at Notre Dame, did you have rules about hair length?
Well, his hair was a lot longer in football than it was in baseball, and Charlie Weiss and I used to discuss it quite a bit. I used to think he was too lenient with Jeff, but he didn't care because he wore it under a helmet. But when he got to baseball, I made him trim it back.
I seem to recall Jeff cut his hair right after he met Lou Piniella as well, 3-2 in 2007. But for Jeff, the way it is right now, it's actually short.
I would agree.
That's a short haircut for Jeff.
That was about the length, the maximum I would ever let him have it right there. I'm not a big fan of the little facial hair that he's got on that chin, though. He didn't have that when he played for me.
3-2 to Bradley, called strike 3, and a fastball right on the inside corner for the first out. We had a great time at Valparaiso High School during the Cubs caravan, and obviously the guy of the night was Jeff Samardzija. We had a packed house, and it was a lot of fun. And Jeff was asked about a lot of memories before his college days, going all the way back to when he was a kid in Valparaiso.
He was a great athlete, played all the sports, and pretty much dominated everything that he did.
And along those lines, when he gets to this level, and he's had his moments, both positively and negatively, it's an adjustment for a guy who isn't used to quote, struggling, right?
You know, he and I talked about that before the game down on the field. And, you know, this is really one of the first times in his life he's dealt with a little bit of adversity. I wouldn't even call it adversity. You know, he's just always played. He's always been one of the star players. The closest thing probably was when he was a freshman in football and he didn't play regularly. He had to deal with that a little bit. But then he had some success in baseball, so he was right back into it.
Could be two, because it was hit like a rocket, and Soriano with the unlucky 5-4-3 double play. Paul Mainieri, a champion with LSU. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Len.
We'll be back in there one of these days. Well, Bob and I will be recording a new podcast after the game today from the booth. It will be up for viewing soon. Download it on WGNTV.com. Just go there, click on the sports header, and look for the link. Click, download, and enjoy.
And now we're working out of the podcast tent right out here in the parking lot of Wrigley Field.
I missed the email. My key all of a sudden didn't work. I'm going to go into the podcast studio. 1-2 on Edwin Encarnacion. One hit for the Reds, a first inning homer by Joey Votto. That's it. The last time the Cubs were in first place in the NL Central, April 21st, after Rich Harden defeated Micah Owings. We sit here on July 26th. The Cubs have a chance to get back there for the first time in 3 months. It's 3-2 on Encarnacion. Well, they got one insurance run. Could have had more. Soriano hit the daylights out of a ground ball to third. Encarnacion turned it into a double play. Ball 4, and the tying run will come up. It's Johnny Gomes. This will be the first time all day a Cubs pitcher has worked from the stretch. Nobody up currently in the Cubs pen. That could change if Guzman has any more trouble in this inning. Swing and a miss. Good cutter from Angel.
We should point it out, Len, because it's so important in every aspect of this game. But the wind has changed direction once again, kind of blowing from right field to left field now. Might help some balls hit toward the left field line. Will probably knock down balls hit the right field. With that in mind, Angel Guzman should just try to stay away here from Johnny Gomes.
Just wide of third. It's foul. Encarnacion has a short lead at first. That's way outside. No problem. Waste pitch. 1-2. Mets leading at Houston 6-3 in the 8th. Braves ahead in the 9th in Milwaukee 8-2. This could turn into a really big day for the Cubs. Swing and a miss. Gomes laid on a heater. 9 strikeouts for the Cubs pitchers. And Lance Nix is going to bat for Alex Gonzalez.
Yeah, that was the Angel Guzman cut fastball. Started right in the middle of the plate at the knees, dropped down and moved away from Johnny Gomes. Comes up empty.
First appearance of Nix in this series, battling a stiff neck, but Dusty knows especially with nobody up in the pen, but he also knows no more left-handed relievers after Sean Marshall got a couple of outs in the 7th. He has a lefty in his pen, Arthur Rhodes, for the bottom of the 8th. Strike one. One career pinch hit homer for Nix. That came against Houston on April 28th. 0 for his last 11. Most of his starts this season have come in left. Encarnacion walked to start the inning. He's still at first with one away. And a 2-1 to Nix. Missed the cutter. 2-2.
That is such a good pitch to a left-handed hitter. It starts down there in Lance Nix's happy zone. Down and in. Looks like it's going to be a fastball. He can drop the head and pull. And that movement just keeps cutting inside further and further. It goes right below the bat for a swinging strike. That's a teaser. You throw a pitch that looks like it's something they want, and by the time they get the bat into the hitting zone, the ball is gone.
Angel's been in the Cubs organization since November of 1999, almost 10 full years. Signed as a minor league free agent after his contract was voided with Kansas City. Battled some arm injuries in his career. Stuff has never been an issue. It's getting that shoulder and elbow healthy. Tommy John surgery in September of 07. He's probably throwing harder now than he ever has, which you often hear about guys who come back from Tommy John. Finally able to put it all together here in 2009. Encarnacion not running, and that's blooped into right. Blanco dives, can't make the play. Encarnacion's going to end up at third. Bit of a risk by Encarnacion as Blanco did everything he could to catch it, and that would have been an easy double play, but ultimately a good read by the base runner. Well, we could see from up here it was going to drop, but a little more challenging for a runner in this spot.
Of course, those players down there at field level, they have the benefit of hearing the contact at home plate, of knowing where the defenders are positioned when the play starts. And after a quick peek to see where everybody was, Encarnacion was able to turn the corner at second and advance all the way to third base.
It appears as though Lou would like to give at least one of his top right-handers a day off. Marmol or Gregg. They've both been busy in this series. Jeff Samardzija is going to get back up. Although Gregg yesterday only had to face one batter to get the save. The 1-0 to Tatum is a strike. Jerry Hairston Jr. on deck in the pitcher's spot. Dusty doesn't have any more lefties available off his bench. Nix was the only one, in fact. Guzman in danger of putting the tying run in scoring position. And if he walks Tatum, that'll put Nix at second base. Second walk of the inning. The bases are loaded.
This is about as erratic as we've seen Angel Guzman all season. Normally he's right around the strike zone, and when he does miss, it's very close. He's missing by a wide margin today.
Don't miss the action as the Cubs host the Astros this Wednesday, July 29th at 1:20. Kids, get here early. The first 5,000 children 13 and younger will receive a Cubs home batting helmet. Compliments of Pepsi. Just about the entire infield was on the mound as Larry Rothschild was discussing strategy with Guzman and Hill. And it'll be Jerry Hairston Jr. with the bases loaded and only one out.
Jerry Hairston Jr. in situations like this, bases loaded, 0 for 5 this season.
Ramirez and Fox will play at the edge of the grass. The middlemen are back in double play depth. They shade Hairston slightly to pull in the outfield. Swing and a miss. Couldn't get the cutter. 0-1. Fly ball. Fukudome coming in a little bit as Encarnacion tags, heads toward the plate, and a throw will get him. He got him to end the inning. Encarnacion can't believe it. Dusty coming out. Fukudome threw him out, and the inning is over. Dusty's going to get his money's worth here. Cubs still lead 3-1. Middle of the 8th. What a throw. his foot in, no doubt. Cubs got a huge break there, but Encarnacion could have avoided a lot of this by not staring at the play the entire way. All he had to do is put his head down and go, but he's looking at Fukudome almost the entire time.
Watching the flight of the ball a couple of different times, and then tries to throw that hook slide into the plate. He clearly was safe on the play. Also, Laz Diaz, the home plate umpire, you could see him moving into what he thought would be a good position to make the call, and actually screened himself from any tag that Coy Hill might have made.
Nick stays in and plays left. Hairston at short, and Arthur Rhodes pitching to Reed Johnson, a pinch hitter, and a solid single into right center. Johnson batting for Guzman. Sometimes you just can't explain why things happen the way they happen, but this had happened a month ago. Cubs probably don't get that break. You know what I mean?
Yep. The game's funny that way. You never know when the ball's going to bounce your direction, when a close call is going to go your way. But the good thing is the Cubs are putting themselves into positions to have close calls, you know, and have them make a difference. There was a lot of games in the first half of the season where one call wasn't going to make a difference in the outcome of the ball game.
Coy Hill punches that one the other way, off the glove of Dickerson. Johnson's going to try to score, and he will easily. And Coy Hill has a triple. With his parents in attendance, Coy with his first career triple. Mike Cloudy saying, how does it feel? I'm tired.
So this is a triple, huh? Boy, Coy Hill just drives that ball with authority into the gap in right center field. Remember, we mentioned the wind had shifted, so that ball got knocked down a little bit. Great effort by Chris Dickerson. The full out dive, just able to get a piece of it. And once the ball gets away from Taveras in center field, Reed Johnson scores easily. Coy Hill with a triple.
And Dickerson might have injured his collarbone or right shoulder. Well, he gave it a good effort, just couldn't make the catch.
Boy, a very fortunate bounce there for the Cubs. You could see Taveras coming over to back up the play, but the ball was deflected behind him. He's got to stop and change directions. That gave Coy Hill all the time he needed to chug in with a triple.
Well, we saw Ramos Ramirez dislocate his left shoulder. Diving stop at third base. Dickerson banged up on a dive out in right center.
Looks like Dickerson wants to stay in, but Dusty Baker said nope.
So they're really banged up, and even more so now. Guessing Paul Janisch could come in and play short, maybe send Hairston into the outfield. I think that's what they're going to do. So a run in and a runner at third with nobody out.
A little different outing today for Arthur Rhodes. You see Jerry Harrison Jr. taking over in right field for the injured Chris Dickerson. Paul Janisch will play shortstop. Rhodes came in the ball game and pitched the 7th inning yesterday. Struck out Fukudome, Soriano, and Fontenot in a hurry. So far today, he's faced 2 hitters, given up a run, and has another man at third base with nobody out.
We have a moment. A special happy 10th birthday wish goes out to Grace Gian Greco here at the ballpark today. Blanco batting right-handed against the lefty Rhodes. Infield in, 4-1 Cubs. They pitched out. See if the Cubs were thinking about a squeeze. Blue actually double switched Blanco into the game, but had the pitcher spot come up first. And that's when he used Johnson to bat in that 7 spot, and he singled and scored on the Hill triple.
Well, that's a very subtle move, but a good move in my estimation, by Lou Piniella. That way you can pick your pinch hitter to lead off the inning. With Reed Johnson on the bench and Arthur Rhodes coming into the ball game, it seems like that's a pretty smart thing to do. Just leave the pitcher where he was in the order, where you can pick your pinch hitter, rather than have Blanco lead off the inning.
Hairston coming over, and just in foul territory makes a catch, and a good throw to the plate. Hill holding at third. We'll check on the games involving the Cubs in terms of the standings. Philadelphia over the Cardinals. The Brewers got crushed by Atlanta, and the Mets are leading at Houston 8-3 in the bottom of the 9th. Infield stays in. Strike 1. And a good slider from Rhodes to Fukudome. Arthur Rhodes with his 756th career appearance breaks a tie for 54th on the all-time list with Jack Quinn. Served out into right center. Hill will trot home. 5-1. We're going to have a similar spot to yesterday in terms of the 9th inning. Cubs were able to tack on in the 8th yesterday, and Kevin Gregg sat down. He eventually had to come in for Heilman, and Gregg's now going to take a seat with Samardzija, ready for the 9th.
Nice approach that time by Fukudome. A lot of hands right at the end of his swing. Just rolled that left wrist over, drove that ball into the gap in right center to play Coy Hill.
To extend his career best hitting streak to 9 games. Inside on a fastball, ball 1. Paid crowd 41,528. Largest attendance of the weekend. Every game over 41,000. Rockies leading the Giants 3-2. Giants just got their second run in the 6th inning. We'll see the Rockies on this next trip. A 4-gamer in Denver. Cubs are going to make up some ground in terms of games played on the Cardinals this month. Cubs, or the upcoming month of August, will have just 2 off days. The Cardinals will have 5. Low and inside, 3-2 the count. Fukudome will no doubt be on the move with the pitch. Good contact guy up there, and Ryan Terrio. Ground ball, foul. Let's look ahead as we near the month of August. 10-game, 11-day trip following the 4-game series against Houston. Cubs come home and play the tough Phillies. The Pirates also in. And then the last time to California. No, I'm sorry. We still go to San Francisco in September. San Diego and L.A. coming up.
No, San Francisco is technically Southern Oregon, weather-wise.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Fukudome runs again. Fly to deep left. Nix on the warning track. Another one dies out there.
Wrong day to hit fly balls to the deep outfield. Everything that's been hit hard to the outfield has just gotten out there and fluttered, with the exception of the Joey Votto blast back in the 1st inning.
Francisco Cordero going to get some work. Reds closer coming in with his team trailing by 4 to face Ramirez. GN Sports is Bob Borwald. Also thanks to our technical director Chris Kentner, our stage manager in the booth Paula Ostroba, our studio coordinator back at WGN Christina Ballas, and of course our entire WGN crew here at Wrigley Field. Normally you don't want to face this guy because that means a 9th inning lead for the Reds, but they haven't had any in this series.
Cordero hasn't pitched for a week. His last outing was against the Brewers last Sunday. Got the save in that ball game.
Well, these two guys provided one of the great moments in the Lou Piniella Cubs era. Cordero would just as soon forget it, but he was on the mound for the Milwaukee Brewers in 2007 when Ramirez hit the game-ending home run. Tracks a single in the right. Fukudome to third. And Ramos with a 2-hit day. What a weekend. He's had 7 hits in the series.
Very similar to the approach that Alfonso Soriano had earlier in the ball game when he lined the ball into right field to drive home a run. Just took a pitch away from him, didn't try to overpower it, just get the barrel of the bat on it, guide it out there into right field for a base hit.
Jake Fox. This backhanded play by Giannis at short gets the out at second and the inning is over. But the Cubs add on with 2 runs and it's 5-1 to the ninth. Alterations to the Cubs defensive alignment as Reed Johnson's now playing left for Alfonso Soriano. Michael Hoffpower's in at first for Jake Fox, and Jeff Samardzija will try to get the final 3 outs with the Cubs leading by 4. If needed, Kevin Gregg could get up quickly. Paul Giannis, his first and possibly only plate appearance in the series. Came into play short when Chris Dickerson got injured trying to make a diving catch. Aaron Heilman yesterday came into a very similar spot, gave up 2 solo home runs. Lou said before the game today, in a game like that, he'd rather see a guy give up 2 homers than 2 walks. But these are auditions here for guys like Samardzija and Heilman. We've seen Guzman kind of vault past all those guys in the middle part of the game to pitch that 7th inning, and in case of today, part of the 7th and the entire 8th. Floated out into left for a base hit. And that'll get Kevin Gregg up quickly.
One thing for Jeff Samardzija, it seems like he's much more effective when he's ahead in the count. I think any pitcher's more effective when they're ahead in the count, but especially Jeff Samardzija. If he gets into predictable hitters' counts,
it's going to hold up. Nope, it's a base hit. 2 bloop singles for the Reds. Votto coming up. Continue.
I'm just talking about those predictable counts. When you're ahead of the batter, you can throw any pitch in your arsenal. Jeff Samardzija could throw a fastball on either corner. He could throw that splitter. He could throw his slider. When you ultimately fall behind in the count or get to a full count, hitters are going to look for the pitch they think you're going to try to throw for a strike. And for Jeff Samardzija at this stage in his career, if he needs to throw a strike, he's going to throw a fastball. And even though the 2 hits in this inning have not been struck particularly well, they both came off of fastballs.
Votto with a good rip, fouled it back. 1 strike. And the Canadian-born first baseman, he's from Toronto. Second-round pick back in '02. Really has come into his own. A bouncer to first. Hoffpower takes his sure out.
Like a good splitter that time. Got Votto to roll right over the top of it. Micah Hoffpower realizes best plan of attack there is take the sure out at first base. He might have had a shot to get Taveras at second, but it was going to be an awkward throw over the shoulder of the runner, so he just decided to take the sure out at first.
Cubs aren't worried about Giannis or Taveras on base. They're just trying to get 2 more outs before the Reds can get 4 runs. 1-0 on Brandon Phillips. Jeff Stevens now in the Cubs bullpen was a player to be named later in a deal between Cleveland and Cincinnati. Chop to the shortstop Terrio. Play goes to first again. Phillips will get an RBI, his 64th, to make it 5-2, but the Cubs are now 1 out away from a series sweep. And Lou's going to ask his closer, Kevin Gregg, to get another 1-out save. With the tying run on deck, Gregg will replace Samardzija, and it's 5-2 Cubs in the 9th. good since about the middle of May. He faces Edwin Encarnacion. Runner on, 2 outs in the ninth. Coy Hill doesn't want to give up anything. Taveras at third. Again, his run doesn't matter at all. A 1-0. Slow breaker for strike 1-1. They had Ryan Hannigan on deck. He'll only bat if Encarnacion can keep the Reds alive. One and two. Swing and a miss. Cubs win. They sweep the series, and they're in first place. They jump past the Cardinals into first. Off to a great start here in the second half.